Hello everyone, welcome to another night at the Fireside Tales. Before I begin, I have to warn you that this story is a little longer than the one I've told last night, but I'm going to try to make it as quick as possible, and if you have a problem with it, just watch my video that I've hope will have got to Facebook by this point, and it basically just shows a little trick of science with a Coke bottle. But anyways, I've got a book here from the Library of the Fireside Tales, an extraordinary library, which tells all sorts of amazing stories of our history and of our world. And the story I have for you all tonight is the story of a little boy and the sea. And I don't know how much of the story is true and how much of it is false, but I think that you're just going to have to make up your own mind, and that there is at least some truth to this story. Anyways, let me begin. There was an old man by the name of Edward Tappet, who would always go and he would walk out and he would stand by the sea. And most of the people that knew Edward knew that he didn't have much time left. And Edward would stare out at that sea, and it seemed like he was waiting for something, like an old friend. Anyways, one day a little boy came to the sea, and the boy's name was Jonathan, and he was vacationing with his family. And he would watch as that old man would stare out at that sea, and finally one day he came up and he said, "Old man, what's wrong? Why do you keep staring out at this ocean all the time?" And the old man, he said, "Oh, I suppose I should tell you my story, my friend. Sit down and I will. You see, when I was a little boy, I used to love to come down to the ocean. I would play in the sand and jump in the water, and I used to look out at the ocean and imagine all sorts of adventures that might be waiting out there for me. But what sort of magical lands might be hidden out there in the eternal expanse of water? Well, anyways, one day I was sitting out in the sand, and I decided to go for a swim. So I went out and I started swimming. But then a tide pushed me in, and I found myself, I wasn't able to, I was struggling, I could barely breathe. And then all of a sudden, I must have lost consciousness. And when I woke up, I found myself on the back of a giant turtle. And the turtle must have been as big as a horse. And it swam about, and it walked over to the land, and it put me down in the sand. And I looked up into the great turtle's eyes, and the turtle looked at me. And from that day forward, I would always come back to the ocean, and I would jump on the turtle's back, and the two of us would go off. Oh, my boy, we used to go off on all sorts of incredible adventures. I remembered going to islands where there were pirates and Indians and fairies and trolls and goblins, all the stuff you hear about in stories. I don't know how the turtle got me there, but it always did, and it always returned me safely home by nightfall. We were good friends, but, well, then I got older, got a lot taller, and I got too big for the turtle. The turtle would come by, and it would seem too tired to lift me, and it didn't say anything, but I felt it was my time to leave the turtle. That's what I did. I got a job. I worked in a big building. I talked a whole bunch of stuff about drills and products and stuff like that. And the last time I remember seeing, or the second to last time I remember seeing a turtle, was out on the beach, and it was looking at me, and I looked at it, and I waved, and then the turtle went back in the ocean. Anyways, I began to miss the turtle. It was kind of a boring life, just living your day-to-day life, and I had kids, I had a wife and a family, but I always thought about the turtle. And one day I was sitting there in the office wondering if the turtle even remembered me, whether it just forgot about me and just swam off and was going after some other boy. And as I was looking out the window, I saw a little head sticking out of the water, looking straight up at my window, and I can swear to this day that it was the turtle. But the moment it saw me, it swam back into the ocean. My boy, I've been alive many years, and my wife has died, and I have nothing left. And I'd just like to go on one more adventure with my friend. Well, the boy thought the story was kind of cute, although he, like probably you, didn't believe it. But anyways, the boy went back in his house and told this incredible story to his family. And one day, the old man wasn't there anymore. He just sort of disappeared. And everyone went looking for him, everyone wondered what happened to him. But it seems like he was just gone. Some people say they actually saw the old man, now thin and now spirally, and ready for his next adventure, getting on the back of the turtle and going off in search of them. But we may never know. But Jonathan held this story in his heart for the rest of his life, and wondered if maybe there are more things going on in this universe than we human beings know. But that is not for me to speculate. I will let you decide. As always, sweet dreams, and good night.